Welcome back, future contractors. Let's do another quick video in the series for the Builder's Guide to Accounting. Today we're going to be starting next section of the book, which is section 2. And section 2 is going to have a lot of very, very important information that I think you really should pay attention to and cover, and maybe even multiple times, just to make sure that you're real confident and comfortable with the content. Let's really get into it. We're going to do a very quick video because it's interesting, because section 2 has a lot of very important information, but it starts off with a chapter that I don't think is very relevant, but I wanted to cover it anyways, just in case. So chapter 9 is check writing and recording. Honestly, this everything in accounting is really about accountability and record keeping. So I think that most of the content in chapter 9 is actually very self-explanatory. So I don't want to spend too much time going a lot of this stuff, because if you're starting a business or you've been involved in a business, you've probably already done a lot of check writing, and you understand the concept of what checks are and what they do and how they're supposed to be used and what to do and what not to do. Plus, when I took the exam, I did not really see much information. I didn't see any questions that were pertaining to this particular information, but I wanted to cover it nonetheless, because like I said, anything in the book is fair game, and if they want to ask you questions about check writing, they will, because they can. So let's really get into it. Most of the information in here is very, very simple. It really is common sense. They talk about checks and what checks are and how they're to be used and how they're to be deposited. Not really a lot of information that I think is relevant. They talk about the check register, which is a neat summary for your own use and provides the basic ledger input. I mean, this is common sense stuff. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Here they're talking about writing checks to cash, means they can be cashed in immediately. Pegboard check registers, you're not going to be asked these questions, so I don't want to spend too much time on there. Computerized check writing, I don't want to talk about that either. The only thing that I really wanted to mention from chapter 9 is the section for multiple businesses, which is on page 110. And this really talks about individuals that operate essentially multiple businesses. So the best accounting system for a builder who owns both businesses is to avoid transfers between the two operations except for periodic adjustments. What are they talking about here? They're really talking about the very, very simple concept of, if you have multiple businesses, keep your finances separate. Keep your financial transactions separate. Keep everything individualized. You do not want to get yourself into trouble by mixing transactions and mixing records, because if you don't know what's going on with in either of your businesses, if you get audited or anything like that, you're gonna run into some serious trouble. So that really is the only thing, as you can see. I mean, we covered this in like 3 minutes. In chapter 9, when we're talking about checks, there really is not much to discuss. I think most of it is common sense. You can read the chapter very, very quickly. Most of the information, I think, is very, very simple. Read it once and maybe take some absorb the information, maybe make some of your own pointers. But like I said, I did not see much content from this chapter on the exam. You probably won't either. But just to make sure that you're comfortable, on page 113 they've got some test questions. So if you could answer these test questions quickly, then you probably shouldn't have you probably don't have any problems with the content in this chapter. And that's it for chapter 9. Thanks for watching.